But talking about vaccines for children under 5, there are some people that are rushing out to get their little children vaccinated. Now, the vaccination rate for those children is low, so Americans are seeing the writing on the wall there. But what do you say about those vaccines for children under 5?
Yeah, it's about 3%. And here's the thing. If you don't have hardcore, solid evidence and data that shows it is going to make a difference between life and death, there's no evidence to prove it's beneficial. How can you inject something in a newborn baby, a child, when you cannot prove that it's effective? Yet we do know that some of these vaccines, for some people, can have side effects like myocarditis. It's rare, but we've seen a cardiac arrest as well. I have a 5-month-old nephew. He's the cutest little baby. I'm not pushing my sister to vaccinate him because it's unnecessary. Number one, he's so young, and also he's already had COVID. So many children under the age of 11 have already had COVID. So we have to take that into consideration. And if you don't have, again, solid evidence that shows it's going to make a huge difference in their life, then I don't think it's the right approach right now. I think the approach would be focus on who are the majority of people who are dying from COVID, and it's the older population with underlying medical conditions. That still holds.
Are we going to get to a place where certain people in the medical community suggest that boosters happen every 6 months or they're mandated every 6 months? Because that seems to be the direction that some are wanting to take us.
I don't think they should be mandated. I think it should be an option. I think it's up to you. If you want to take the risk of maybe dying or having side effects, it's up to you. It's your choice. It's no different than drinking a bottle of whiskey every day. It's your choice what you want to put in your body. But as far as the mandate, that's a no. Now, could it be recommended for certain groups of people every 6 months or once a year, like the flu shot? Sure, that's one thing. But again, it should be optional.
It should absolutely be optional because whether they wanted to admit it at the onset of all this or not, the vaccine does not prevent infection or spread. So for the life of me, I cannot figure out what use that mandate plays when they say it's for the greater good, it's for public health, but it doesn't really have an impact on anybody else except for the person that's getting it or not getting it. So the mandates to me seems more about control and less about the science.
Absolutely. You know, it's not like our current COVID vaccines, and maybe it'll change in the future. It's not like meningitis or measles or mumps or rubella or tetanus, those type of vaccines that can literally stop infection and stop you from spreading it and stop you from dying. And that's why I was so disheartened when I saw 60,000 Army reservists and guardsmen might be expelled because they're unvaccinated. We need our military. And again, it's not a vaccine that can stop disease and stop the spread. You have to take that into consideration. And what about people that might have allergies or they have natural immunity? So all these factors really need to be taken into consideration. And I hope that maybe with new leadership, with new White House administration, we'll get someone, and even new health officials. I know Dr. Fauci is retiring. We need someone to look at the big picture and understand it's not a one-size-fits-all for everyone. We have exemptions for other types of vaccines. Why on earth can't we have them for this one?
Which is so odd to me because the term anti-vaxxer is what they use to label everybody that either is critical of vaccine mandates or just chooses not to get it themselves. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I had all my other vaccines because those prevented infection.
Exactly.
Got them when I was a baby. I'm fine with those. This one has not been around long enough for us to know the side effects. But what's weird to me is that the medical community, there's almost like a secret society where you just don't talk about it. And I have several friends who are doctors or in the medical community and they say, listen, we've got questions, but we are cut off at the knees. You can't so much as utter anything about the vaccine or you will essentially be a pariah in the medical field.
Yeah, it's tough. It can be a challenge. And I was upset at the beginning with all the data that the CDC was giving us. Okay, it stops the spread. You won't catch it. You're protected. And that just wasn't the case. And I felt very upset and angry because with the data they were giving us, I was providing to my patients. And then later we learned that's not the case. They shouldn't have told us at the beginning that it will stop the spread. You will not catch COVID. They should have said, we think, we believe. Let's see what the long term shows. And so, I think it's too early. It's only been, 2 years, or the vaccine just came out about a year ago. So it is on the early side, but I think, again, it's a choice. And if you are higher risk, you should consider it. Most of my patients who have been hospitalized or who have lost their life from COVID, they were high risk, older, with underlying medical conditions. But then I saw that higher age group get vaccinated, and less of them were losing their life. So we know which population that it impacts, and I think our focus and priority again should be on those high risk groups, not five-month-old babies or young, healthy teenagers and college students.
What about masks? Because at first Fauci told us, don't run out and get a mask. And then it was, you need a mask. And then it's, you don't need a mask if you're vaccinated. And then it's, you should wear a mask. The narrative around masks is ever changing. Some people are always going to want to wear a mask. They just love the mask. I don't know why. They have an affinity for them. It's almost like a sick obsession with them. But do they work?
You know, it's sad that we instilled that fear in Americans so early on. It depends. You know, the cloth masks, the surgical masks, they're not as effective as the N95. But who on earth is going to wear an N95 all day long? I can barely
Certain
breathe.
liberals will wear it. They will wear it if you give it to them.
I can't breathe. You know, when I have to work, I'm still required to wear a mask, and it's hard. So, you know, it's again, it should be a choice. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. But an N95 can protect you, but all the other ones aren't going to stop.
They're decorative face coverings, but this is what I also don't get about the mask. People that love the mask, you need to wear a mask. People that will chase you down in Target making sure you were wearing a mask. Listen, a lot of you people are wearing the same mask, not only all day, but several days in a row. So if you're not changing that mask, aren't you essentially strapping filth to your face and then holding it by your nose? Does that not seem counterproductive?
And not to mention the rashes that I see patients come in with on their face, on their nose, and then trying to have little children mask up is just, it's appalling to me. Again, if you want to wear a mask, that's fine, that's your choice, but you shouldn't mandate it. If you feel like someone's high risk and they want to go to Starbucks or a store, it's up to them if they want to wear a mask and protect themselves, whether it works or not. But again, let's refrain from the mandates and give everyone that option and that choice. They say the whole purpose of the lockdowns and the shutdowns and the mandates was to not overwhelm hospitals. Well, we're not overwhelmed. We're not overburdened right now. 2 years ago we were, and it was hell. But you know, we've come again a long way, and fortunately we've learned how to manage and take care of this disease now, where we should also modify our strategies, and it shouldn't be the same as it was in the beginning.